Going to study about heart. You know where the position of heart is? Heart, it is an organ made up of muscles that is situated slightly tilted towards the left in the thoracic cavity. Here you can see the heart is located in our body. That is, it is slightly tilted towards the left in our thoracic cavity. We can look at how the heart is protected. Does the heart which consists of any membrane to protect it? Now we can look at that. So the pericardium which helps in the protection of heart. So pericardium, it is a double layered membrane that covers the heart. The space between the membrane is filled with the pericardial fluid. So the pericardial fluid which helps to protect the heart from the external shock, and it also reduces the friction between the membranes when the heart is beats. So in this picture you can see the pericardium. It is a double membrane, and you can see inside this pericardium it consists of pericardial fluid. So this pericardial fluid which helps in the protection of heart from the external shock. So now we studied about the heart and the position of heart and how the heart is protected, which consists of a pericardium which helps in the protection of heart. Now we can study about the structure of heart. So before that you can see the video of the structure of heart.
The heart has 4 chambers. The small upper chambers are called atria, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. So here, right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. The heart also has 4 valves. These are like little doors which only open one way. This ensures that the blood is flowing in the right direction and doesn't flow backwards. Tricuspid and pulmonary valve are on the right. The mitral and aortic valves are on the left. It's important to remember that veins carry blood to the heart and arteries carry blood away from the heart. The superior and inferior vena cava are large veins that deliver deoxygenated blood into the heart. The superior vena cava delivers blood into the heart from the superior part of the body.
So in this video you can see that the deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body that is carried into the right atrium, and from that right atrium this deoxygenated blood that is passes into the pulmonary vein. From that it is passes into the lungs, and from the lungs the oxygenated blood that is passes into the left atrium. From that left atrium it is passes into the aorta. Then from the aorta this oxygenated blood that is passes into the different parts of the body. So the deoxygenated blood that is carried into the right atrium and the oxygenated blood which is passes into the aorta, and it is passes from the aorta to the different parts of the body. So the deoxygenated blood which is oxygenated in the lungs. Now we can look at the heartbeat. So the heartbeat in our body which is take place in a cyclic manner. So the first one is joint diastole, then forms into atrial systole, then into ventricular systole, then again forms into joint diastole. So it is in a cyclic manner. This cyclic manner it is called as cardiac cycle. So when the ventricle contracts, blood from the right ventricle is transported to the lungs through the pulmonary artery, and blood from the left ventricle is transported to all parts of the body through the aorta. So this happens in the ventricular systole. That means the contraction of the ventricle. Ventricles contract and pump blood into the blood vessels. And all four chambers return to normal state at the same time. And the blood flows from vena cava to the right atrium and blood flows from pulmonary veins to the left atrium. So these stages happens in the joint diastole. That means the atrium and the ventricles are forms into the normal state. So the time required for the completion of this is 0.8 second. So one cardiac cycle, it is known as one heartbeat. Now we can look at the pacemaker. So the heart rate is controlled by the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles. So the electrical impulses necessary for the contraction of the heart chambers and are produced by the SA node in the wall of the right atrium. So it is also known as the pacemaker. So this is the picture of SA node or pacemaker. Now we can look at electrocardiogram. It is called as ECG. It is used to identify the functional defect of heart. So it is the graphical representation of electrical waves that is felt in the walls of heart when the heart beats. So this is the electrocardiogram and the graphical representation of this. Now we can look at which are the factors which helps in the health of the heart. First factor, it is the healthy food habit. We have to eat the healthy foods for our heart and regulate the body weight according to the BMI which means the body mass index. Then avoiding bad habits like drinking alcohol and smoking and reduce mental stress, and we have to do exercise which helps in the health of the heart. Excess of fatty food which causes atherosclerosis, which means the fat which is deposited in the arteries, and the blood clot in coronary artery which causes coronary thrombosis, and coronary thrombosis which may lead to the heart attack, and also stroke which is occurs due to the blockage or rupture of brain blood vessels. So these are the factors which affect the heart. So the factors which is helps in the health of the heart which is necessary to reduce these problems. We celebrated the World Heart Day on September 29. So we studied about the heart position, then the structure of the heart, then we studied about the cardiac cycle. So one cardiac cycle is the one heartbeat. Then we studied about the ECG, which is used to identify the functional defect of the heart. Then we studied about which are the factors which helps in the health of the heart. Then we looked on in which day the World Heart Day is celebrated. So these are all about today's class. Thank you.